Okay, so this is really cool. I'm excited for this video. I really am. I want to share this with you. What this is this is the Senton 6S, and they don't make these anymore. It's been out of production for a long time, and getting parts for this is virtually impossible. I mean, you can find some stuff, but most things for this are out of print basically, and you can't get them anymore. So we're going to have to do something that's outside the box. Now, let me explain a little bit on that. This is the kind of wrenching that got me into the hobby in the first place. It's one thing to take a car apart, put a new part in it, put it back together. There's really no creativity in that. It's good to be good at it, and it does make it easier to get out and play, and that's a good time too. But for me, it's pretty much split down the middle. You've got your bashing side, your racing side, all that, all the running stuff. That's one side, and it's exciting, especially in groups. It's exciting. But when I'm here by myself in the studio, the other half is what sings to me. So what it comes down to is I love wrenching, but I love being creative even more than just the wrenching. In this video, we've got this big old box of parts back here, and it's got all kinds of everything in it that we've had for decades. And this isn't all the parts, but these are the ones we're going to use or look through to try and find things that we can use to modify this car. You can't find this body anymore. I looked and looked and looked. I cannot find another one of these, and I don't want to destroy it. But when I was digging through the bodies, I found this. And this is a Senton 3S body, and they are compatible. The mounts for all the hood pins and everything, they're identical. It'll go on there. So that'll be a good slate to start with. We'll be able to take that, keep the Senton look, but I need to make it Senton 6S so it can't look just like the other ones. It does have an RPM front bumper on it, so that's modded out already and looks a little weird the way that's tucked underneath here. We'll see if we can do something with that. It does have a T-Bone Racing rear bumper on it, and of course they're out of business, so you can't get any parts for this or anything, but this one appears to be in pretty good shape, so we're going to go with that. Other than that, there are no limits. We're going to see what it needs, and we're going to try and figure a way to make this thing cool. The thing about it is, this is what really tricks me out about this hobby. This is what I really love about doing this. The bashing side is cool. Yes, I love doing that. It's a blast, especially with friends. That's what makes it so cool. But the wrenching side, if you're fixing something, that's one thing. But when you're being creative, you're taking parts like the dragster up on top there. That's built by hand. I took a bunch of parts and made that thing work, and it works. And I built it from scratch. I bent the chassis and everything, and I created that from parts that I had basically in a box like this. And it was really fun to do, and my mind stayed on that until I got it done. I was just fixated on it until I got it done. And for what I used, that turned out really good. This one, I'm going to keep to the actual Senton 6S drivetrain and all that stuff. This has already got a huge amount of upgrades in it. All the EXB stuff's in it. All that stuff's in there. But I think we can do better than this as far as the look goes. In this video, we're going to spark that creativity side, and we're going to get down inside of this thing, and we're going to make it something new, bring it up to date. So we'll have what looks like a new Senton 6S. This should be a lot of fun. I'm really jacked about doing this one. Check this out. Okay, now before we get into this build, let's take a look at what we're starting with. All right, so sitting on the bench is what I was able to come up with out of the box. And this is just a bunch of random stuff that I think might work. So we have body posts because we're going to swap bodies, and I don't know how the ride height's going to be. So we got some body posts. We have an extra wing mount. I think this one's interesting because the original one has a plastic wing that's attached to the body. If this will work, perhaps I can get a regular wing that we can just mount and it'll be sturdy. So we'll see how that works. It would be kind of cool if I could get this thing to mount. It is missing a spar right here. But like I say, this is just used stuff that came out of the box, so that's fine. So this is an RPM wing mount, but I also have a set that's for the Typhon. These are the stock ones for those. I have a Typhon one and I have the Creighton. I believe it's the version 4 wing arms. So I have all of those that we can see if we can get the right elevation, if we can even get them mounted at all. I'm not sure if it's going to fit with all the stuff in the back of the car. So we're going to give that a sample. We do have a variety of wings here to choose from the TLR to the Italian to the Creighton. So we've got all those to mess with. We've got some lanyards for the body. That's pretty good. We also have a piece of carbon fiber here. And what it comes down to is if you take a look at the actual cage that's inside the body, the side ones are a cage area. Okay, so it's just sort of a weave of plastic tubing. Now the thing is, I want to keep that body restrained. In other words, I don't want it to flap. So I'm thinking of cutting out a piece of carbon fiber for each side, mounting that on and using Velcro to hold the body in place. That should minimize the rattling, make things sound a little more complete. So that's the idea on that. So we have the carbon fiber and we also have the Velcro to go with it. So that's good. We also have a sticker kit and the body. And this is brand new. It's been sitting on the shelf a while here, but it's brand new. And there's a bunch of decals that I want to take off of this. We'll be real careful trying to get them off, but I want to put my own decals on it to make this basically a Senton 6S. So I've got that work to do on that. We'll do that first. So we'll get that peeled out and then we'll start working on getting it mounted. But I do have a couple of sets of tires and wheels. And I picked these up a few months ago, and I tried to get black ones. They sent me green ones. Okay, that's green, so these might work. And these are basically Typhon tires and wheels, and they're about the same size as what's on it, so that should work. But I also have these black ones, and I haven't tried these Louis ones yet. That'll be interesting, but whichever set works best or looks best, those are the ones we're going to go with for this. So we have all of this to choose from. But first, let's get that body in place. All right, so that's the build for the Senton 6S, and I gotta tell you, I really do appreciate this RC. This one is really cool for a short wheelbase, short course truck. This thing is really cool, and I'm glad we were able to bring it up to date. I think it looks a lot meaner now, and one thing that is really cool is this is the EXB off of the Creighton, and look at this. It hits right there, perfect fit. Everything goes together really nicely, and it's nice that even the 3S and the 6S cars have the same points of mounting, which allows you to be able to interchange the bodies. Really cool. And one thing I like about the Arrma platform is the ability to swap parts around. They use a lot of the same setup for each RC, different wheelbase, different width, all that stuff. But you can take stuff off the Italian and bolt it on this. You can take stuff off this and you can put it on something else. All very cool. And the differentials, they're all pretty much the same with the exception, if I remember correctly, the Felony's the one with the odd. So it's got smaller tires in the front, larger tires in the back, and the two differentials are geared differently for the tires. But other than that, things are pretty much universal throughout this system. And being able to trim into the body and actually have a wing mount here, this is cool. Now it's got some structure and it's not just riding on the body the way it did before. And take a look at the difference here now. This is the original body, and let's see if we can get this on the screen. This takes up a little space, but take a look at that, okay? So this is a really cool body as well, but on the back, this is just mounted to the body. There's no structure to this at all. It's just on the body, and it's cracked and broken because there's no support. With this one, now this one is actually affixed to the chassis itself, and that should give it some strength. Personally, I think it's a shame that they stopped producing this car. It's a really cool car, and I know they have the 3S, and we have them both here, and I've got a couple of the 3S cars. One's modified and one's stock, and they just don't come close to this one. The weight of this one, the ability to run this thing at 6S, it just turns this into a beast. Now, the thing about that is, though, I think I enjoy playing with this one the most at 4S. It's really controllable. The weight gives it real nimble handling, but it is heavy, so it does swing in the corners a little bit, but still with the right tires, that you can overcome. And I'm fully aware this isn't a current RC. This is an older one, but the thing about it is, we don't care about that here. We don't care if it's brand new. We don't care if it's an older one. If it turns us on, we're into it, and that's just the way it is. We've got some brand new ones here, and still, I find myself gravitating towards this one. There's just something about this car that draws my attention, and while I'm wrenching on it, it's a lot of fun to do because I never know exactly how it's going to turn out. The thing about this is, you can take your imagination, and that's the point of this video. You can take your imagination and you can build whatever you want. This is not what came out of the factory from Arrma, not even close. This isn't a factory RC. But it's really cool, and it only took a little while for me to build it. Now, the thing about that is, if you use your imagination and you fumble around till you find the right parts, you can build just about anything. So if you haven't already, don't forget to bash that like button and help our content spread. You know, these kind of videos, these are really cool. And there's a thing, I got to balance this a little bit because sometimes I wrench for the channel, sometimes I bash for the channel, but a lot of the time I wrench for myself, and a lot of the time I bash for myself. No cameras, no anything, because you have to have balance. Every time we go and record something like this build, it takes a lot of the concentration because you have to get the cameras right, you have to get the angle right, you have to make sure everything's good to go, and then you have to make sure you don't screw up while you're putting things together or taking them apart. And if you watch the channel, you know I leave it in there when I make a mistake. I don't try to sanitize it. I get it right in there, and you get to see what happens. And that is just part of how it goes. When I wrench for myself, I pull up a stool, I have a seat, and I don't care what's going on. I'll make a mistake, I'll make a mistake, I'll make a mistake, take it all apart and fix it and put it all back together. And I don't care because it's not about getting it right the first time. That's always a good idea. If you can get it right the first time, by all means do so. But I don't really care because it's not about winding up with this. Now that this is all done, my wrenching days on it for now are over, and I'm almost, well, I'm disappointed in that because I really enjoyed this one. This captivated my mind when I started in on it. I'm like, what can I do with it? What parts do I have? Having the wing mounts, okay, we use RPM wing mounts a lot, so I did have that set laying around. That was pretty cool. We have a little stack of bodies over there, and it's probably about this deep, and it's got some clear ones, it's got some used ones, it's got some painted ones in there. This one was in there, so we actually got this one because we were building a drag, one of these that's a 3S into a drag car, four-wheel drive drag car. And so I never got to put it on it because I already have one of these bodies and it wasn't completely trashed yet, so this was new in the bag. I'm glad I hung on to it because it allowed me to put it on here. Now, the cool thing about this is when you swing this around, I really like the idea of embedding the wing into the body. I think that's really cool. It does float. It's separate here, and it sits in there just right, but it just pulls everything together. I love the way that sits now. It sits right down in there, and I know I could cut the wing, but I didn't want to. I wanted to keep the wing in total the way it is and just make sure that it has a place to sit. Now, after it's been bashed a little while and the wing mount gets a little cocky, I might have to deal with that. But right off the bat, it looks really clean and cool set up that way, and I'm really impressed with the way that turned out. If you guys have done anything like this, if you've taken an RC and done a custom build to it, please feel free to get down in the comments below and help others along the way. For AJ Jam Studios, I'm AJ Sam. Keep ranching.